Welcome back to the channel, Black is One, where the agenda is to elevate the consciousness of the black race so that we can build and prosper. I'm still in my Black History Month series, and in this video I'll be talking about Imhotep. Most of us know the name from the 1999 Hollywood movie called The Mummy, where Imhotep was the villain. The part was played by a Bridget by the name of Arnold Waslow, but the real Imhotep was a black man, an African, an Egyptian that lived some 3,000 years BC. Now this is his profile. In today's society, we're accustomed to people being specialists in their specific fields. So you have a doctor that is different from a lawyer, that is different from an architect, that is different from an engineer, that is different from a scientist, that is different from a dentist. But in the case of Imhotep, he was no single specialist. He was a multi-genius. He was a prodigy in several fields. The world's first multi-genius, to be specific. He was the master architect and engineer that worked on the pyramid built under the pharaoh by the name of Dosha. He was the one who came up with the idea to use stone columns to support a building, an idea that would be later copied by the Greeks and then by the Romans, and later on would be known as Roman columns. Imhotep was a priest and high priest to Ra in a place called Heliopolis in Egypt, son of the god Ptah, which is the chief god in Memphis, the old capital of Egypt. He himself would eventually be deified in Egypt, and I'll come back to that a little later on in the video. Additionally, on this man's profile is that he was a scientist and a master physician who diagnosed and treated over 200 diseases 3,000 years ago. He was a surgeon. And how do we know that? A Virgin by the name of Edwin Smith found a piece of papyrus from ancient Egypt, and it shows where Imhotep outlined in details 48 different surgical procedures. Imhotep was a philosopher. He was an astrologer and a chancellor or chief advisor to the pharaoh Dosha. As I said before, he was the one who was behind the design and supervision of the building of the step pyramid of Dosha, which stands some 200 feet high. Now to the part about his deification, or being elevated from the son of Ptah to being classified as a god himself. Over 1,000 years after the death of this man, his legacy was so impactful to the point that he was given what we would call the Ice Order. The Ice Order in Jamaica is national hero. Well, in Egypt, the Ice Order was that of being a god. That's what I meant when I said that he was deified, he was made into a deity. He was the first human being to be worshipped as a god, the first in history. At the shrine of Imhotep, or the temple of Imhotep, he was worshipped by both Greeks and Egyptians. When the Greeks invaded Egypt, they had so much reverence and respect for the genius of Imhotep, especially his medical acumen, that he was identified or was placed right up there with the Greeks' god of medicine, Asclepius. There's a Greek physician by the name of Hippocrates, who is said to be the father of medicine. But this man was born 2,000 years after Imhotep, and he referred to Imhotep as the god of medicine. He said that I'm a child of Imhotep. He worshipped at the temple of Imhotep. When doctors are to be commissioned, are to be sworn in to become doctors, there's a oath that they take, they call the Hippocratic Oath. named after Hippocrates. I have an excerpt of it here where the internet said this is the most ancient legible copy. The first part says, I swear by Apollo the healer, by Asclepius, by Aena, by Panacea, and all the gods and goddesses, making them my witness, that I will carry out according to my ability and judgment this oath and my duties and so on and so forth. But the part where I say I swear by Apollo, healer, and Asclepius, Asclepius could be substituted for Imhotep. This is our brother, ladies and gentlemen, who was of such importance and made such an impact that he was deified as a god. Imhotep. First multi-genius in history. First architect to be identified by name in history. First human being to be made into a god in history. This man is our ancestor, brothers and sisters. We're from a line of geniuses. Nothing is outside the scope of the African brain. You know, when we want to say that somebody is smart, we say that they're bright like Einstein. Now, I have nothing against Einstein. I'm not saying that Einstein wasn't smart or wasn't brilliant. But we have our own genius right here. So we can now use Imhotep as an example of intellectual brilliance and genius. So if you want to compliment my intellect, don't say that I am bright like Einstein. Tell me that I am bright like Imhotep, that I am brilliant as Imhotep. Black is one. Consider subscribing to the channel if you support this kind of content. I'm looking to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year. And remember to share the videos as well. Leave me a comment, ask me a question. Do your own research, your own reading. Don't just take my word for it. Until the next one. One love.